Hey guys, coldbrew here. Welcome back to another video. Live Arena has been out for a little bit of time since, well, I've been playing the beta, so a little bit more time for me, but I would say around a month or so for me and a couple of weeks for everybody else. There's a very important issue going on right now where there's one person, the king of the hill, as I want to say. He's just standing there and just waiting until everybody can reach him and he can finally play the game. What do I mean by that? Well, it's very interesting on how live arena work, because you need to find actual opponents. You're not fighting set defenses like the classic arena or the tag arena, where you're just fighting, let's say, a bot version of that account, because they don't have any interaction with the actual player who has this account, right? You're just fighting the set defenses with the custom AI, and whatever happens. Well, live arena is a little bit different. You need to find an opponent, and you need to be fighting that opponent with the specific rules also. So what do I mean by that? Well, Bobby has reached gold in live arena. I believe it was yesterday around the time I was playing live arena is when he reached it finally. I'm not sure if it's exactly 509 battles. I feel like these battles have not been counting correctly, but anyway, 509 battles, 83% win rate. He reached gold arena. The thing is, he cannot play anymore. He is stuck. The reason that he cannot play is that he's now playing it with different rules. He's playing with these gold live arena rules. Every champion picked for battle must be unique. This is very, very specific, and I would have loved if this was also available maybe in silver 4. That would have made things a little bit more interesting. But what this means is that he cannot play anybody who doesn't play with the same rules as him, where in silver and bronze there's no restrictions or special rules for the team composition at the moment, and he cannot go and be under restrictions and then the enemy team not be under restrictions, right? The enemy team being able to pick, let's say, a Duchess when he picked the Duchess first. So what will happen now is that he cannot enjoy the game, or he cannot enjoy this part of the game at least, until, from what I read, until about 10 players or so reach gold. And again, I believe that won't be the case, since those 10 players also need to be on at the same time. So he's just waiting until everybody slowly gets their wins in and slowly can get into where Bobby is. And what is happening right now at this point of live arena is that everybody is pushing slowly but surely higher and higher, since you get 5 rating if you win and lose 4 rating if you lose. So you have a net benefit of 1 if you have like a 50% win ratio. So you will be gaining more than you're losing, unless you have a 49% win ratio. So over an insane amount of battles, you'll actually be losing much more points if you have anything under 50%. But still, that would need to be like a big number, since again the net benefit is basically 1 on 50%. So this is very interesting. Do these players like live arena? I wouldn't say they like it as much as, it's something that is new for the game at the moment, and it's something that you are using, at least for live arena at the moment. It's basically your strongest champions, and at the moment is Marichka, Taras, Harima, and then support, right, to help them. It's not something out of the reach of my imagination to think, okay, it's gonna get stale after a while. If you're fighting the same kind of teams over and over again, there's gonna be a combination of picks and bans that will result in kind of the same matchups, even with the unique rules of Gold Arena. Well, it's up to Plarium to see if they can fix that in the future, and if they can just add more players into the Gold Arena. It will be some time until I specifically reach live arena for the gold tier, since I'm exactly 1,000 rating behind, and it took me so long to get to 1,700. So I would expect with the 63-65% win ratio, it's gonna take like a month for me to reach it, but I'm in no hurry. Okay, I've been grinding as much as I can. I've been doing some refreshes more when I stream, less when I don't have the time. And I've been upgrading my area bonuses. I can imagine once I have everything on 6 out of 10, it's gonna be like a comfortable grind in gold, and then I'll slowly be upgrading the important things, which is speed, ignore defense, maybe defense percent and HP percent, especially for Fire Knight, where you get hit a lot. The defensive stats outmatch, something like attack or even resistance. I'm not gonna be building much resistance, but we'll see. We'll see on how that goes. Overall though, Live Arena, I think, should be where Plarium needs to be pushing their attention and their advertising for the future. There's a lot of things to do in the game, but if you want to keep your players interested, you want to have them fight it out in PvP. And if you want to have it fight it out in PvP, you give them the good champions, you give them the 10x's like they're doing right now. Although those should be even higher odds, but as long as players are spending, they are not going to be changing it. Unfortunately, it's the truth. And, I fell for it for Taraz, didn't get him. I don't think any other CC got Taraz, actually, that summoned. But the way that these games should be is that they need to introduce some other things to make Live Arena a little bit more interesting. Some maybe one-day rules, okay? So what I mean by that, it's let's say every Wednesday, special battle rules exist right here that doesn't depend on whether you're in silver or in gold. The special rule on Wednesday, it can be different every week. It's say, maybe Orc faction champions have now, 1,000 accuracy more. What does that mean? It means that you don't need to build your warlord anymore with a lot of accuracy. You built him with something else, since he'll get that big stat boost. Or Orc champions get 20% damage boost, 50% damage boost, to make them crazy, so that there is that mix up of teams. And you're going to be fighting with Orc champions that you never used before. They can introduce like 50% less silver cost for moving items during those days to make people want to change their gear to those champions so they can fight it out and have something different. Try out maybe a champion that would never work anywhere else, but because of that very unique rule added to the Live Arena on that Wednesday, he can now have some fun and see some big numbers coming in out of the burst champion. Let's say your Seer now does, more damage per buff. These things are all up to Plarium to make these more interesting, and it's gonna make making content for us also a lot more interesting, which draws in viewers. If you can make a video where you're having a lot of fun in the arena, there's so many things that Plarium can do with the Live Arena and this interaction where you're fighting live players and there's decision making. You're doing manual fights, which I haven't done as many manual fights in live in the 3.5 years that I've been playing Raid to this month, compared to this month that I've been playing Live Arena. Every single match, one of the matches I've done in Live Arena has been manual play, and I'm enjoying that, since it's okay, I need to do this now, because if I do that, it's not gonna be the best decision. Maybe I should do my A1 here instead of my A3 on my rotos. There is that kind of decision making. It's not extreme 200 IQ plays, with, it's not skill over anything else, but there is some skill. Even if you've got the good gear, there is some skill with which decisions you have to pick. The pick and ban phase is proving more important than ever, especially in silver. And now I've been losing to teams where I would think, okay, maybe I shouldn't be losing to this team, but I lose to them because I banned the wrong champion. It happens. And that is why I don't have a 100% win rate. I'm not perfect player, and I'm not even close to that. But it's a lot of those things. It's a lot of having the right champions at specific points when you're fighting a team. Or as I said again, the ban is the banning of the one champion is going to be the most important thing. So introducing these other rules is going to make Live Arena so much interesting. And the final thing that they need to add is something that I covered in a video in the past, is make these Live Arena rewards more interesting and more about your participation and not about your win rate. Okay, the win rate thing, it kind of sucks. It takes a while to do 35 wins. So having this be participation only would make things more acceptable for everybody compared to just the wins. Since just the wins, it will be heavily on the spending players, who the spending players will usually have a higher win rate than the, you know, the free-to-play accounts, the newer accounts, and all that. So you need to introduce that desire for everybody to be playing this game in the game. So yeah, king of the hill, but is alone at the moment. I don't know how long it's gonna take for at least 10 players to get into the gold tier. This is just a live arena video for today, guys, since I found this funny. He hasn't moved. Like, once he reached into gold, he hasn't moved, and he's unable to do so until lots more players join, and it's gonna take a while. Look at that, 2,300. That's 400 more rating. That's 80 wins, right? 80 wins can take a while, especially if you are bored fighting the same players over and over again, and you win one, you lose one. With 68% win rate, it's gonna take you a while. And at least 10 players. Look at that, 2,100 for Potato here. Potato is gonna take, you know, another 600 or so to reach into gold. So it will be I would guess maybe another week at least until these guys, at least 10 of these guys, reach there. So this was the video, right, guys? Do you share my same thoughts about the live arena? Do you agree with anything that I've said or disagree? Leave it down below. I want to see some, you know, interaction in the comments. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.